Preparing now to stream live. Thank you for some of your messages. Okay, some of you, one of you had said stressed about work, a new boss, right? A new boss, a new beginning. The reality in life is that there are always new things happening, like it's a new day, a new piece of clothing we're putting on because we have already put the other one into a wash, or we may have even bought something new that we're going to be using. And new food that we're eating. So a new boss, be aware of what are those thoughts coming out in the mind, a new boss. So this is what happens when we are becoming more aware of what the mind generates in terms of thoughts. A new boss. So the first few things that the mind generates, oh, changes. Yeah. Now our mind doesn't really like changes that we didn't request for. Usually we don't mind the changes if those are the changes that we have ordered or we are open to or we have even asked for. So when there are changes that we didn't necessarily request for, then we become apprehensive. We have this sense of, some tightness in the chest area because it creates a bit of anxiety. And that is associated with the thoughts in the mind because our mind has such incredible power to detect what are the potential threats to us. So if we think of a new boss, we think of, oh, there are I might not be in his or her good books, or I now have to now work on improving myself to align with the boss, or now I have to start all over again to prove myself. So these are some of the thoughts that come up, or my boss may not like me. So there's usually all these negative thoughts that happen in the mind quite naturally. So what we need to do is to take the 3 deep breaths. So if you have these negative thoughts now, take those 3 deep breaths with me. So we get the mind to focus on the breathing. And this is how we let go of that narrative that's going on in our mind, all this rumination that's happening, especially thoughts that are fearful in nature, thoughts that are replaying what has happened, and all the projections that are not necessarily positive. If they are positive, well, we can let the mind, become creative and just think of more possibilities, more opportunities, more ways on how to adapt, more ways on how we can step up to the new challenges. And then we just become aware of how this mind is so amazing in coming up with all these new ideas and all these innovative ways of adapting. But when we are aware that, my gosh, this mind is just going down a dark tunnel of thinking of all the worst things that can happen, this is where we need to take that 3 deep breaths, dropping into where we feel the breathing. And this is how we let go of those thoughts. We stop this rumination, this playing in the mind. So I also saw a message here about somebody having an argument with the wife in the morning. You feel bad about it. Well, so this arguments and conflicts that we have do play on our mind, which is why practicing mindful speech is very helpful to learn how to respond by not saying anything is a response in itself, or to learn those, or not just learn, but we use those 2 lovely words we use to say to each other. Yes, dear. Yes, darling. What's wrong with that? Why do we have to be right? Why don't we just acknowledge we are listening? Yes, dear. It doesn't mean we are agreeing. It doesn't mean that we're giving in. We are respectfully listening to what is being said to us. And that's usually what we do with bosses. When bosses tell us something, we may not agree, and we say, yes, boss. We just listen. And that's why we don't have as many conflicts towards people we respect. And this is where we need to evaluate, have we lost or have we reduced the amount of respect with our partners in our lives or with our spouse? You may have married your wife or your girlfriend has become your wife, but do you still respect her as much as before? And maybe it has to do with the reduction in the respect, which is why you have this need to tell her what it should be or to give your side of the story. Sometimes it is not necessary. If we have this humility and says, okay, I respect what you're saying, I respect that's your view, I respect that this is how you feel, and that's it. No need for arguments because you don't need to convince her that you are right. You don't need to convince her there's a better way of approaching something. Just respect, like you do with people of authority or people that you have higher respect for. So I hope this suggestion to you would help to shift your perspective and to reflect on, is this a case that your respect has lowered? And now bring that respect up. After all, you have married this person. So bring up that level of respect. And how do we do that? Is to put the negative judgments aside. So in mindfulness, we talk about paying attention in the present moment, non-judgmentally. It's because we have all these judgments, all this negative judgment of this person. Oh, she's so naggy. Wow, she's so impatient. She's so difficult. These are the judgments that cause us now to have a different experience with the same person that we've been with. In the past, your judgment had been, oh, she's so sweet. She's so kind. She has such a good heart. Somehow those judgments have been shelved away, and now these new negative judgments have taken over. And these are the judgments that have caused you to have a different experience with the same person that you're with. So in mindfulness is to be aware of these judgments and to be able to park them aside and focus on what is the issue we're talking about here, or what is the topic of conversation, and just listen, be respectful. So I hope that little idea will help you going forward with your spouses or with anyone that you have arguments or conflicts with. Okay. Now, a couple of you had said about feeling sore, feeling tightness in your neck. So now I'd just like you to focus on the neck. You can close your eyes and just drop your attention into your neck. And slowly turning your face to one side. And feel the stretch on the side of the neck. And now turning your face to the other side. You don't even have to look at me on the screen. You just follow my instructions. Keeping your eyes closed and focusing on your neck and changing direction, moving your face to the other side and feeling that neck rotating. And one more time, changing over to the other side. Good. And now dropping your ear to your shoulder and slowly rotating your head. The key here is slowly so that you can focus on the rotation in the neck. And when you've done at least 2 rotations, change direction. You may feel that your neck is stiff, and you may even hear crackling sounds in your neck, and that's okay. So by doing this gentle rotation, you can do it a few more times. It will help you to release the tension in your neck. And if you hear a lot of crackling, it just means that your joints are very stiff because you hardly move your neck, apart from looking at the mobile phone and tilting down your head, which also gives you very poor neck posture. So what you need to do is to shift your head back. So let me just turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing here. So here's the head. A lot of times when we're looking at our mobile phone, we're like this because we also forget to put our mobile phone up. So now it's to shift that head back like this. So you can do a few movements like this, and you might feel a little bit of pain in the back of the neck because you haven't been using the back of the neck muscles to hold up your head. And check that your head is aligned with your back, the shoulders, and that will be a better posture. Okay, you may see a hump here, and that's called the aging hump. So I'm 56, that's expected. Some of you are only 26 or 36. If you have a hump here, it's because your posture has been quite awkward. So now is to become aware of your posture. When you sit up or you stand up, straighten up your neck. And now when you're sitting down, even though in this chair, feel that your head is being pulled by something that's hanging off the ceiling to increase your height. And feel that pressure as well in your lower back being released. Because a lot of times we are sitting down slouched, and that's actually not good for our lower back, and it may result in a lot of pain in our body. So as you can also see yourself on the screen, adjust your shoulders. Check that your shoulders are level as much as possible. So that way you're not like this or like this. So adjust your shoulders. Okay. And your shoulders, now rotate them. So pull them back. Close your eyes so that you can really sense into your shoulders and rotating them forward. And do it at least 3 times. Do it slowly and feel the rotation. Your muscles moving. Very good. And now this time, bring the shoulders to the front and roll them back. And just feel the movement. If you feel your shoulders are stiff, they will get less and less stiff as you do this on a daily basis. Good. So anytime you sit in a chair, you feel your shoulders being very tense. And that is because you have been feeling flustered, frustrated, upset, angry. These shoulders will tense up. This is the stress response system that is activated, the muscles in the shoulders and neck being tensed up. Okay? So now we're going to be doing a body scan practice followed by a self-compassion practice or a loving kindness practice. So now check that your feet are touching the ground. Place your hands on your lap. Sit upright. You don't have to be stiff like this. Just sit upright so that your back is nicely curved and you're not slouching. So check that your shoulders are relaxed. And if you don't know if they're relaxed, just move your shoulders gently and feel the shoulders. So as part of doing this body scan, is that you're training your mind to be connected with the body so that you are aware of what this body is feeling. And you're also training your mind to be more present. So by using different parts of the body for your mind to focus on helps you to train this mind to be more present where your body is. That your mind is not somewhere else all the time. And even if it's somewhere else, you will become more aware. So now with your eyes closed, take 3 beautiful deep breaths. Feeling the beautiful air going through your nostrils. Celebrating first that we can breathe, that we're not intubated, we don't have an oxygen mask over our nose. We can breathe, and the air is clean, and in some places that you're at, the air is cool. And now after you finish your 3 breaths, just let the body breathe on its own. Your body always knows how to breathe because it breathes all the time, even when you are not paying attention. You are busy doing things or even sleeping. Your body continues to breathe. So bring up a sense of gratitude that we have these breaths that keep us alive, that our body is oxygenated. And these breaths, although small, little acts every few moments, so critical to staying alive. So bringing about the sense of gratitude towards a little breath helps us to grow our sense of gratitude to the bigger things in life. And wherever you are, you may now tune into the environment. And you may notice sounds. Sounds of the air conditioning, some machinery somewhere, even if it's your computer whirring. Sounds of voices, birds. Depending on where you are, is to be accepting of all these sounds, accepting that they are part of your environment, and accepting that there's nothing you can do to change. Then you're able to make peace with these sounds and letting go. Now shifting your attention to your feet, into this body. And noticing the feet on the ground or in your footwear, sensing the soles of your feet against your footwear or your socks. Noticing the toes, moving your toes gently and releasing any tension that could be in your toes. Sensing to the heels, your ankles, and feel free to move your feet side to side to release any tension that could be in your ankles. Even lift your entire heel up from the ground. And now sliding your attention up your legs, sensing into the shins, which is in the front part of your lower part of the leg, your calf muscles, the knees, your thighs, sensing into the back of your thighs, noticing your hands resting on your lap. You may feel the heat that's generated by your palms. And now sensing into your bum, noticing the bum against the surface of the seat. And you may realize there are bones in your bum that is so-called touching or resting against the surface of the seat. Check that your body is balanced between the two sides of your bum and adjust your body if needed to make sure that the weight is distributed evenly between the two sides of the bum. Scanning the lower back. And direct your breath into your lower back to relax your lower back if you sense any tension or tightness in the lower back. So breathe relaxation into the lower back. And then sliding up your spine. Relaxing the muscles along both sides of the spine by directing the breath into the back. Feeling into the shoulder blades. Feel free to move your shoulders gently, rotating them in either direction or any direction that you feel would release the tension in your shoulders. Sliding down the arms into your wrists. Your fingers, moving the fingers one by one and letting any tension in the fingers to be released. Now letting go of the fingers by shifting your focus into your abdomen. Sensing into the abdomen and directing the breath into your abdomen, especially in spots that you may feel some tightness or tension, some knots. Directing your breath with kindness into it. And then moving up to your chest, noticing the rise and fall of your chest. And up to your neck. And you can now also shift your head side to side, moving it up and down, or even gently rotating to release any tightness, tension in the neck area. Now focusing on your jaw, relaxing your jaw. And let a gentle smile fall on your face, relaxing the muscles on your cheeks. And feel that smile open up your heart as you sit here in these moments of gift to yourself. Relaxing your eyes, your forehead, and scanning all over your scalp. Noticing even the muscles, the skin around your neck. Sensing into the skin all over your body. And then dropping into your breath. And now, how does your body feel? Observing your breathing. And to be reminded this body is in good health. It may not be perfect, but it's good enough. All your organs are working, functioning well. Your brain is in good condition. So be thankful. And we can only be thankful when we are aware and we're not taking things for granted, that we have a body that is in good shape. And even if there is a part of your body that is not in the best of form, the rest of your body are doing just fine. And to let the affected part of the body time to heal. And that you treat that part of the body with kindness and care. And now just focusing on 3 more breaths before you open your eyes. And then I'll do another segment shortly after a little talk I'm going to be giving you. Okay, how do you feel right now? I would love to hear from you as to whether it has given your body a bit more sense of calmness and relaxation, and also your mind feels a little bit clearer and calmer. So type me some feedback would be great so that I know. And those of you who are on Facebook, I'm also looking at the Facebook feed. So I'm getting more tech savvy now with this opportunity to do things online, which is a change to my life. I'm also now adjusting all my lunch appointments to be after this session. So I'm very grateful to people who have kindly allowed me to have lunch with them only at 1:45. So adjustments are going to be part and parcel of life, and to embrace change. Because after all, the world is not going to change or adjust to us. We need to adjust to the world. So when we embrace change, things become a whole lot easier. That we're not going to be adversely affected by the changes. But in fact, we're saying that, yes, bring them on, because we have the ability to adapt. When we have an open mind, a mind that is flexible, a mind that is pliable, then we are able to say, yes, bring on the changes. We don't mind them. And we can even step up to these adjustments that are needed and stay positive about it. And what does it mean by staying positive? It's to be present. Instead of letting this mind race ahead and thinking about what could all go wrong and how things are not going to work out and how things are going to be worse off, this is just the mind playing tricks. And this is when we need to take the 3 deep breaths, or just one, as part of your practice, to let go of this circling thoughts, this spiral of thoughts that could bring us down, feeling low, feeling pessimistic, feeling unhappy. This is what our thoughts do to us. So it's not even people out there that is causing us to feel unhappy. It's what's going on in here, which is why mindful practice is so important because if we can change the quality of our mind, we change our level of happiness. We change our life completely, which is why I'm so passionate to be able to share this because I've been through this journey. So I don't get worked up or too fussed about things going wrong. And if I do get activated, I'm aware and I'm able to re calm myself. And this is what you call calming on demand. Okay, so self compassion is an act that will help us to become a better friend to ourselves. So I will share something that just happened a few um, minutes ago before I started the session. I was at Tan Tock Seng Hospital preparing for my eye surgery because I have pterygium, which is a membrane that grows on top of my right eye on the side. Fortunately, it hasn't affected my vision, but the doctor's advice is to have this pterygium removed so that it doesn't keep growing and eventually affect my vision. So before the surgery, which is going to happen next week, I have to go for all this pre-surgery assessment. And one of the things that I had to do was to have a blood test. So that means taking blood out of my arm. So for many people who may not be applying mindfulness, may already feel very jittery to know that there's going to be a needle poking into the skin, or may even feel fearful that, wow, it's going to be a lot of pain. But the reality is when we are able to apply mindfulness, I was able to just look at the needle coming to the skin and then notice the needle actually going in, and the sensation is just a little prick. There's a little bit of sensation of like a tingling sensation. And then after that, she pulls the needle out and it's over. So when we practice mindfulness and we apply mindfulness into everything that's happening in our life, we notice that anything that we considered pain or uncomfortable, they are fleeting moments. What is increasing that feeling of pain or discomfort is actually the thoughts. Like what people say, ayo, it's going to be very painful. Oh my gosh, this needle is going to be really sharp and it's going to cut into my skin. That is all that pain that's already in our mind before the actual act. So as I was walking back to make it in time for this session, I noticed my mind wandering off into the possible things that could go wrong with the surgery. Oh my gosh, what if the surgery goes botched? I will lose my eyesight or I will have an infection. So this is the mind generating all these thoughts and is part and parcel of this mind trying to help us survive, to protect ourselves. And so I need to counter that by first taking the deep breath for this mind to halt those trend of thoughts and then apply self-compassion. And what does that mean? If a friend had said to me, hey, I'm going for eye surgery and I'm really worried if something's going to go wrong, and I would say to this person, hey, are you going to a qualified doctor, a doctor that's very experienced? And the answer is yes. Well, this doctor has been doing it hundreds or thousands of times. It's a skill that he or she has probably perfected. So he or she would want to do a good job, would want to succeed. So you have very little to worry about. And I would also ask the person, well, what was the worst thing that could go wrong? Oh, lose the eyesight. Oh, thank goodness we have two eyes. So at least we still have sight on the other eye. And what is the risk of that happening? Actually pretty low, because it's not even cutting into the eye. It is really the surface of the eye. So if there's an infection, there are many ways to treat it. So when we are able to take that deep breath, then our logical mind, which is this front part of the brain that we train to become more effective with mindfulness practice, can now kick in. And we can now say things that are kind to ourselves. There's nothing to worry about. The doctor who is going to operate on me would want to succeed. And I have confidence in him, not only because he's been a doctor for many years, he's also highly recommended by another doctor I know. And to trust the doctor, because when we trust the doctor is more able to do a better job. Because a doctor that is being put in a fearful situation, like you threaten the doctor, hey, you don't do a good job, I'm going to sue you. Huh? Then the doctor will have a lot of fear, and that's not going to be helpful. Because instead of focusing on cutting the eye, he's worrying about, oh my gosh, she's going to sue me, if this thing goes wrong. So know how fear affects us. Fear doesn't make us do a better job. In fact, fear makes us do a worse job. So in that sense, we also don't inflict fear on other people. And those of you who have children, it's not to threaten your child. If you don't do well, you're going to get in trouble. No, it's to say, well, if you do well, that means you're learning. And that means you're really able to absorb even more knowledge and you'll be brilliant. So give them the encouragement. So when they are relaxed but excited, motivated, they will do a whole lot better. So my intention when I see the doctor next week, I'll say, thank you for doing this operation on me. And I know you're going to be doing a good job. So thank you in advance. Okay. So I'd like you to consider how you would be more compassionate to yourself by telling yourself more positive things that are going to assure you that you're going to be all right. And that way, you will be a very positive influence on everyone else. Okay, so now we're going to do the loving kindness practice, and this is to help ourselves instill more positivity into our mind, which will then affect how this body feels as well, because our mind and body are so connected. And those of you who haven't realized, if you haven't eaten your lunch, now think of the lunch that you're going to eat now. That yummy food you're going to be putting in your mouth, especially something that's a little bit spicy or sour. Now notice how that starts to activate your saliva being generated into your mouth, being excreted. So now you understand the power of thought, that the thought has a physiological effect on this body. So don't underestimate the power of what you think has an effect on the health of your body. Okay, so now we're going to do this practice of loving kindness, starting with ourselves, wishing ourselves to be well and happy. And then I'm going to be inviting you to bring up in your mind of other people. Now, I know it's already 1:11. We are doing this a little bit longer today, but if you have to sign off, please feel free to. I think it's being recorded, so you can always play it again on the Facebook recording that's being done. And so you can do the practice later in the day again, and also share it on your Facebook page so that your other friends could benefit from this. All right, so now let's close our eyes, dropping into our breath. Let's take 3 beautiful deep breaths. So this is a really good practice that we develop into a habit of taking deep breaths whenever we're connecting with this body. Or whenever we're stressed, we just take this deep breath to let go of the rumination, that narrative in the mind. And now we're going to use the 6 words, may I be well and happy. And keep repeating that in our mind. So this is going to be a 10-minute practice. Feel the changes in your body as you keep repeating the phrase, may I be well and happy. And now bring to mind someone that you love. Even if that person has passed away, it's fine. And dedicate it to that person. May so and so be well and happy. And now bring to mind another person you care about a lot and wish this person to be well and happy. And now bring to mind persons who are dear to you. So if a few people pop in your mind, you can always string them up. May my son and daughter and mother and wife, whoever, you want to string them all together and may they all be well and happy. And now bring to mind someone you're grateful to. Whoever pops up in your mind is fine. Now wish that person to be well and happy. Now bring to mind another person who has done a lot of things for you or helped you in a moment of crisis or giving you an opportunity when you really wanted. Wish this person to be well and happy. If you notice quite a few people pop up in your mind, string them all together. And now bring to mind all your colleagues in your office, including your boss. Wish them all to be well and happy. Want to be wonderful. You work in a place where everyone is well and happy. And now let's wish all the healthcare workers all over the world who have to respond to COVID-19 to protect the people in the community and to take care of them. Let's wish all the healthcare workers in the world to be well and happy. And now let's wish everyone in Singapore to be well and happy. And if you're in another country, wish everyone in your country to be well and happy. And now bring to mind someone that may have upset you or aggravated you. Wish this person to be well and happy. This person has helped to show up that you need to practice mindfulness to learn how not to be so easily agitated by a few words or an act that you don't like. So wish this person to be well and happy with a sense of gratitude to this person. And now coming back to yourself, wishing yourself, may I be well and happy. May I be well and happy. And now recite that 3 more times. May I be well and happy. And open your eyes. Wonderful. So how do you feel now? I look forward to your comments. So please do type some comments there so that I can. I look forward to your comments. Okay, it's 1:19. We're probably ending this later than usual. And I hope that you're finding the extended session to be beneficial. I hope you're not too hungry, but you can always still grab something to eat at your desk and to keep your little tummy happy. So before I end, I'm going to just share a couple of messages with you to help you put things in perspective. So when you're at work, remember to offer each of your moments at work as an act of service. You are, after all, paid for the hours you're at work to serve. That's why most of our contracts are called contract of service. Secondly, complaining is not what a company pays you for. So don't do it. It's not going to be helpful. It's not going to help secure your job by complaining. Not complaining is going to help solidify your position in an organization. Resisting change is also not what the company pays you for. Instead, embrace changes. Look at ways of even making the change more effective. If you find that the change that's introduced needs some fine-tuning, feedback with recommendations on how to fine-tune to make that change even better for the organization. And rally everyone else to embrace the change is an act of leadership. And this will reflect very well on you. Just as like now, I'm embracing change because of the situation. We're all learning how to use all these online tools. And it's fantastic. I'm able to now reach out to even more people. In the past, there were only a few people coming to Mindfulness Club and they have to make their way here. Now they can just sign on and benefit from these sessions. So every cloud has a silver lining. Embrace that cloud and look out for that silver lining. And you will be able to make your life happier. And as a result, you make everyone else's lives happier too. So be that positive influence. Be that positive energy. Okay, so I hope this session has been useful to you, and I'm happy to take questions. Yes, there's a question here. I'm a trainer with a nursing background. I practice mindfulness since my teens, and I'm training mindfulness as well. If you need extra trainers, let me know. Thank you to the person who's just dropped me that note. I would suggest to you, those of you who are trained in mindfulness, to offer these sessions at your organization so that more people can come together with you, sit in a room and do a practice. So in whatever situation you're in, use the opportunity to offer your services where it's going to be beneficial to everyone around you. So is there anything else that anyone would like to ask or put forth? Thank you for all your wonderful feedback. It's very motivating for me. It makes me want to do it. So even after my eye surgery on Wednesday next week, who knows? I may come back with an eye patch and I'll still lead these sessions. That's how positive I am. Instead of letting this eye surgery get in the way of my ability to serve, I'm going to do it despite that. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day and see you tomorrow. Spread the word, do the shares on Facebook, and mark this in your calendar, in your diary, so that you won't forget. Thank you. Bye.